Today's topic is courage is being scared, but being brave anyways. God, that was a mouthful. So for those who are new to the channel, my name is Ashley Bloxham. I'm a therapist. I specialise in childhood and trauma. I'm also an addictions counsellor, and I've studied it right the way up to PhD level. And I also know what it's like to have a loved one who struggled in addiction, and I have overcame it myself. So today's topic is courage is being scared but being brave anyways. One of the things with addiction recovery and the work that we've got to do to make it sustainable is it can feel quite scary. I think facing anything head on can be terrifying, whether that's mental health, whether that's addressing a situation in your life which is causing aggro, maybe it's changing job, but certainly in that category of things to face head on, which is scary, is addiction recovery. It really is. And it's not just removing the thing that's scary, it's also what does life look like on the other side of the addiction. What am I going to do instead of the addiction? How am I going to get through all these cravings? So it's terrifying. And it's not about trying to kid yourself into thinking, okay, this isn't scary. It's about saying, okay, it is scary, but I'm going to be brave and I'm going to do it, because courage is born from that. And that is a good feeling, and it's something to be proud of. And pride is a good feeling. And I have a lot of people talking about like self-esteem and confidence. That is all born from doing the thing that we're scared to do and just being brave anyways. Hi, Chris. Chris is saying, hello, Ashley, I was getting worried. Hope you're doing well. My son just would not go to sleep. He just would not go to sleep. It was an absolute uphill battle. So I very nearly didn't come on, and I thought just show up. Even if it's just for 20 minutes, it's better than nothing. Hi, Bill. Bill's saying, glad you're back, mate. It calms me down. Oh, I like that. It calms you down. And yeah, thanks for coming. It's a two-way street. Yeah, it's been a bit rough tonight get my son off to sleep. It's one of those things. And I just know it's going to be a nightmare in the morning as well. When he goes to sleep late, the other week he went to sleep late and punched us in the face when he woke up. Luckily he's 4, so they're little tiny punches, little fists. Yeah, so today talking about being brave, and one of the things about addiction recovery which we have to be brave in is facing shame, because shame is one of those feelings which keep us really stuck, but it's also something that if it goes unchecked actually causes a lot of chaos and carnage underneath. It's such a horrible feeling, and it's one of these emotions which isn't just an emotion that rises, but something that actually just settles in to your psyche. So if we feel a shame, it just seeps into every part of how we view ourselves. But actually facing shame can be quite a scary thing to do in itself, because it's such an awful, awful feeling. I genuinely think shame is one of the worst emotions / feelings to deal with. And we need to face it head on. So we need to be brave, even though it's scary, and actually face the shame and really unpack it. And hopefully this channel helps you understand that, you know, that shame doesn't necessarily belong to addiction. Addiction, I always say, is a maladaptive coping strategy. But we do need to face it, and we need to release it to move on in recovery. Roxy, how are you doing? The only carnage I know is from Spider-Man. Is there a carnage in Spider-Man? I can't remember Spider-Man. It's been quite some years since I watched it. I've known a lot of carnage in my life, but all peace and love at the moment, which is good. How are you all doing anyways? There's not that many people on, so if you have any questions, do ask. Chris is saying, I know you touched on this other times, but since you mentioned sleep, can you speak to the importance of it in fighting addiction, as lack of sleep can be a huge trigger? Oh my God, yeah, it really can. Sleep is something that I am personally struggling with, and I'm waiting to get, what is the word? I'm waiting on some kind of list for the sleep clinic. So whatever I find out from there, I will share. But it is something I struggle with myself, and I don't want to pretend to have the answers to it. But yeah, absolutely does trigger anything like sleep, eating poor, stress all increases your likelihood of relapse. And yeah, and also when we come out of addiction, often our sleep is messed up as well. That's something I've really been struggling with just even quitting vape, and like my legs kicking and itching and horrible. So yeah, I wish I actually had some advice for you, Chris, on sleeping, but I actually don't. There is basic sleep hygiene, but I genuinely just don't think it works for. If I've got bipolar, but if you've got an overactive brain, if you're struggling with anxiety, so I think the basic sleep hygiene doesn't really work that well. Does anybody else have any ideas for sleep? Because actually what I found is people who are watching the live seem to have more sound advice for sleep than what I can offer, to be honest. Bill said, I've had that recently, Chris, mate. Yeah, are you struggling with sleep at the moment, Chris? It is really hard sleep is really difficult, especially when it's overactive brain. I think that's the worst thing, when your brain's just zinging about. What's other people? Has anybody else got any like absolute corkers for sleep? Bill's saying it's hard not to be honest. I hate whinging about it, but instead of drinking to forget, I put it at the back of my head to the point stress made me have major high blood pressure. Do you mean what do you mean? What do you mean by that, Bill? I'm trying. Do you mean like drink used to help you sleep, or do you mean like stress? I don't fully understand what you meant with that. Sorry. Would you mind rewriting it? Shorts help go viral. Yeah, the only thing is, I know they do, but it's just finding the time to like clip up these to go viral or record shorts, because I'm just kind of max capacity. Like I do a lot of one-to-ones for people. I'm a single mom. Obviously I'm doing this. I'm writing a book at the moment, so I just feel like, and I do jiu-jitsu, gym. Yeah, finding the time to do shorts and stuff and ideas. I need to clip these up really, but what I actually am doing is I'm waiting until I get paid, which I'm not far off now. I've just hit my first thing, which is getting paid through one way, and then I've got another way where I get paid off ads is next, which isn't too far away. So I'm going to use the money I make off that to hopefully pay for someone to clip up my lives. I think also doing shorts, they feel a little inauthentic, whereas I think if it was just clipping up what I'm actually saying, that's probably going to be better for people. Use hashtags. I did use hashtags. Deuteronomy, I don't know how you say your name. DE. I used hashtags, and I actually found that I get pushed out to more people when I have no hashtags. So I've stopped using them. Maybe I should go back to them. Bill is saying what I find helps is AI sleepy history stories. Oh, I find if something like that, it needs to be with my brain, because it's like ADHD and autistic. It's like it needs to be stimulated, but they're not too stimulated. So something like that might be helpful, but I find sometimes if it's a bit boring, I start thinking up my own things. Nearly had a stress-induced heart attack. Fucking hell, Bill. That's not fun. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just stress is just not good for us. It's really not. We have all these different things, like there's so many different things that people talk about which we need to do, like these little life hacks, and ultimately stress. Like stress is just the biggest killer, and that might be like stress to your body because it's not getting what it needs, or like mental stress. But yeah, I can really understand why that would happen. What you're doing now, Bill, to manage your stress? Chris saying depends. I just know that when I don't get sleep, the struggle is around the corner. Yeah, that makes complete sense. There was a study which they got people to, they basically deprived people of sleep, like the correct amount of sleep they needed, and then the next day they gave them a choice of like healthy snacks or unhealthy snacks, and then they had another group which had good amount of sleep and they had access to the same snacks, and the group which were had sleep were making the healthier choices, and the group which had disrupted less sleep were going for the sugary snacks every time. It just really impacts our ability. And you know, I even noticed like my parenting is more ropey when I've not slept. Just everything. When I've not slept, everything is just my temper and my fuse is much worse. My decision making is a lot more flaky. Yeah, and then we blame ourselves, and actually it's not. It's just sleep. I look at sleep deprivation. They used to use it as a form of torture, and that's for a reason. Water, C-R-N-I, C-R-N-I. And Chris is saying, Bill, if you struggle with anxiety, may I quote Jesus who says, he can and will give you the rest and also give you anxious free peace. I'll be praying that you find the way. That's really kind, Chris. I don't know, moving on, come back off a relapse, then got a great job and trying to keep up, done me in. Trying to keep everything up's been difficult, you mean, Bill? Yeah, I mean, so you say it's, oh God, Bill, I'm struggling to understand you tonight. I don't know what's going on with this. Are you basically saying that that's helped you getting a job? Or are you saying that you're struggling because you've got a job off the back of a relapse? Sorry, yeah, just built up. I'm knackered. Yeah, me too, Bill. I think that's a problem. We're talking about sleep, like when you're tired, it's just like, I can't read what you're saying, you can't type. It's not a good combination. Oh God. Zawodi's, hey Ashley, I haven't used in 49 days now. The sweets have almost gone. The sweats have almost gone, not the sweets. But the nightmares are terrible. Thanks for all you do. I love that you're on 49 days. That's amazing. I'm glad the sweats have gone. Yeah, they're a fucking kicker, aren't they? And it like restless leg and stuff like that. I've just got out of that for quitting vaping. It was a nightmare. Bad dreams. Yeah, dreams are one of those. Do you know what I find helpful with dreams? This isn't like a psychology thing or anything, but I had this book about lucid dreaming, and it was taught about like how to deal with dreams. And it was saying the next day, if you sit there, so if you look at dreams through the lens of like psychology and counselling, a lot of them say, the theories say that it's like accessing your subconscious. Now, they talk about it in different ways, but this book was quite helpful. It was saying if you think of like the different things in your dreams being little clues and keys and themes of what's going on in your subconscious. So it said the next day, just write down what the dream might be saying about what's going on internally. So I had a dream about somebody, and it was like, I was trying to not give away what the dream was there. Oh, fuck it, I'll just say it. So I had a dream, it's just an example, of my son's dad, and his finger was bashed up and it was his wedding finger. And then when I woke up, it was like really weird. We had took an ecstasy tablet together in his dream. And when I woke up, it was like really weird. And I was thinking, what does that mean? And I started thinking about what's the symbols. So the wedding finger being crunched in is like a failed relationship. They're taking a pill together. Like ecstasy tablet means that maybe it was like artificial. It wasn't what I needed. So you can use the weirdness of dreams to think about what might that be that's been your subconscious is saying about you. And that really helps with nightmares, because even when they're scary, if you can break it down to what it means, usually it's not as scary as what you originally thought. So what that did for me by breaking them down was meant that I was no longer scared of them. It took that anxiety away from the dream, and rather it was just like, oh, that's just that's a crazy bit of my psyche coming through, and actually I can use it as something to explore. Do a little bit of healing. Like your dreams just like giving you a dealing of healing. So that helped me. Because honestly, I don't think there's a way to stop negative dreams. Not that I know of anyways. I don't know if anybody else knows anything. Oh, actually, I read something once. I don't know if this would work. I don't know how factual this is, but it might be worth a try. I remember reading somewhere once saying that if you say to yourself before you go to sleep, I'm going to have a positive dream, you're like telling your subconscious, so just as you're drifting off, like, I'm going to have a positive dream, you're telling your subconscious, which might work. That I could imagine that might work, especially if you're saying it just as you're starting to get yourself relaxed, because that's your delta waves. So maybe, I don't know, try it. Let us know if it's a pile of shit. 40, it's Bill's saying 49 days, a big move, massive. It is. Bill's saying congrats, mate. Yeah, it is. 49 days is amazing. You're over your 21 days, like well over it. You've got over your first month, so about a month and a half. Yeah, you're really getting through it. And I think about 3 months, everything should start to feel like you again. Whatever that is, like a newer version of you. So yeah, you're doing great. Hi Joe, who's watching from the Republic of Ireland. Chris is saying, if anyone needs help, please reach out to Ashley through the link in the bio. Also, snag the like button and subscribe. It helps reach others in need. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, it does help give us a subscribe. Just people showing up is really helpful. Joe Crowley said, hello, all viewers to the stream. I cannot speak tonight. Hi, Jason. How you doing? One of the OJs. I know everything. Jason, do you? What do you know? Well, share a bit of everything with me. What's your best thing that you know? Guy is saying, anyone who wants support from Ashley. Oh, hi, Guy. How you doing? It took us a second to even notice that I was reading that you were here. And go to my website. It's free support and comment on my videos. Yeah, it is free support. I've also got myself a Calendly now, so it's a little bit easier to get people booked in because it was a bit carnaged before. But we're learning. Sean, hair is an instant turn on. Me just messy bone. Good. I'll take it. Gal, I am 4 days clean again because since 2023 I've been relapsing every week for days and days, and I lost my ex-girlfriend. But they are moving back their hometown with my daughter. I'm struggling. Would you like a one-to-one to work out how we can get you to keep going? And look, I will say, Gal, like, so many people go through what you're going through. Like, on the amount of times I quit for even just until the next day. I was so like certain, like, this is the day it's happening, and then it gets 6 o'clock the next day, or I'd get 3 days under my belt. Sometimes I'd get it up to 6 weeks under my belt. What I would say, Gal, is if you one, it is normal. It's normal to go through this push and pull. What I would say is look at what are the triggers. So what is it that makes you slip up? There must be a common theme. And also I would think about, okay, I would like to have a one-to-one with your gal, really, to be honest with you, to try and work out, because also this is saying the key thing in this as well is saying you've lost your ex-girlfriend and then moving back to their hometown with my daughter and you're struggling. So is that moving away from you, or is that like they're moving back to where you are? I think this is just a really complex thing, and I think that if you want to have a one-to-one, that would be a better to do that. Let us know though. But yeah, it is really normal just to keep relapsing, and that don't let that dishearten you, but just work out what's went wrong and what can you do differently next time. And we can certainly work that out together. Has anybody got any advice for Gal as well? And also I think it's important about like to know whether they're moving closer to you or away from you, because that's, I think, a different dynamic, which I think would have a different, they're moving closer to you. So is this something, yeah, how do you book what? Do book a one-to-one? Just go to my website, schoolofaddiction.co.uk, because this is quite a complex thing, and I think it'll be much better if we just hash it out. It's free of charge. Yeah, Chris is saying, Gal, you've got this, and this community loves you. Yeah, do you know what? It's just showing up to stuff like this, but it doesn't need to be here. Just getting yourself around people who have done it is a good start, because the thing is, like, if you're around whoever you're around, that's what's gonna change. Like, that's gonna change your life. So try and get around people who've been there and done that, who have actually got through the other side, because you're just in this stage where you're like wanting to break through but just not quite getting there yet, and that's normal. It's a normal part of recovery, but we need to get you over the finish line, and being around people who've gotten over the finish line is going to be a good way to do that. Certainly one of the things anyways. Frederick's saying, hope you're doing well. Oh, moving away, you mean? So that's going to be really hard now, isn't it? Because that's going to be like a motivation is like now going away from you. Gal, I will say addiction recovery has to be done for you anyways. But yeah, this is quite complex because we've got a kid involved, so I've got your daughter, and obviously I know that'll be a big motivation, and also will just be making it really difficult as well, because a parent, you're sat here saying, like, I'm sick of being in this position, I've got a daughter. Like, no parent wants to be struggling in addiction when they've got a kid, and that just adds on so much guilt. I understand that myself, being a parent who is like constantly struggling and relapsing. So yeah, let's just get you're going to see A and NA, but I just felt so uncomfortable. But I've been in recovery since 23. I'm 30 now, still haven't got it. So do you mean are you still yeah, you said you were relapsing every week. Have you tried smart meetings, Gal, if you felt uncomfortable there? That's another. So people who, there's NA and AA, and there's a few other ones, like ones for gambling and stuff like that. And people always think of those meetings being the ones that you go to. But for some people, they really don't resonate. But there's actually smart meetings, which is an alternative. And smart meetings are all grounded in counselling theory. So what they do is each week you'll be getting like actual tips and tricks, like grounded in counselling theory. Like, I did the training for it, and it's all like grounded in psychology, different CBT, neuroscience. So all of it's like really scientifically sound, and it doesn't have any like religion or any of that kind of. I know some people mention that in NA they feel like it kind of can glamorize addiction. So you can do smart meetings as well, and you can do them online so that you can be anonymous. So that's another thing. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, so yeah, I definitely say that's an alternative. CA was a home for many years, but this smart recovery sounds like I can give it a go. Yeah, it's just a different route, and it's just more about, like, you don't have to have a sponsor and do all these things. It's just like each week they're just going to give you techniques. But the thing with groups, which is really good, is if you're around people who are going through it, like, you motivate each other, and providing you're in a group where people aren't just then going off. But I'm sure they do online groups, which would be good. So you're motivating each other, and it's like shared motivation is better than doing it by yourself, definitely. But have a one-to-one with us as well, and we'll see where you're going wrong and what we can do differently. Guy, when I have a drink, I go to bed. And sleep, then wake up 3 hours later, and I want more drink and food. So I've just ordered a delivery for cheeseburger and chips. Is it for when you have a drink, you go? Oh, guys, I thought it was my brain is not picking up what you're putting down. I thought that was Chris, and I was thinking that doesn't sound like Chris. It's because it's Guy. I just saw the blue writing. Right, when I have a drink, I go to bed and sleep and wake up 3 hours later and just want more drink or food. Yeah, alcohol, it gets you to sleep. So it can get you to sleep, but it makes your sleep really disturbed and broken. And you're plowing yourself full of sugar as well. Okay, I'm going to go on your website now to have a look. Yeah, make sure you do, gal, and I'll just send the only reason for the website is so you can send us a message and I can email and arrange a one-to-one. So, Corsair, nice red nails. Thank you. My little fighting hands, no nails. Had to cut them off today because I've got jiu-jitsu in the morning. Chris, gal, there will be lies coming at you. Like Ashley said, get with people that have been through it and speak truth into your lies that might be shouting in your ears. Be good, share Christ as one. Yeah, it is. We do tell ourselves lies. Oh God, I do it all the time. Like I've been experiencing them, going toe to toe with them the last 3 weeks through getting off vaping. It's been a bit of a pain in the arse, to say the least. Frederick St. Osha does jiu-jitsu as well. I am a spazzy white belt. I'm not going to claim to be someone who's brilliant at jiu-jitsu. I'm quite obsessed with it though, to be honest with you. I've like really, this is like new spicy obsessed. Like I've been learning like physics and stuff, and how does physics apply to it? Like really crazily obsessed with it. Bit of an addiction, I'm not gonna lie. Good to see you, Deathhawk. Oh, hi, Deathhawk. You blue, your mods are just blending into one tonight. I'm just thinking everyone's Chris. Hi, Deathhawk, how you doing? Hi, Virat. Virat saying struggling with alcohol addiction, please advise. Yeah, Virat, would you like to have a one-to-one and we can just do it? I'll give you like some personal advice on how to tackle this. But what I will say with alcohol addiction is it's really important that, one, I would say you do it with professionals. At the very least, because I know that some people don't do that, and I really would advise that, is at the very least use AI or something to help you map out how to come off it responsibly. Make sure that you're taking the right medications and stuff, because it's really dangerous just coming off alcohol. It can be fatal. So going to cold turkey off it can send your system into shock. So I would really say do it with a professional. At the very least, have a one-to-one with me, and we'll talk about it, and yeah, learn about how to come off it safely if you don't want to do it with a professional. But I would really advise that. But yeah, advice so safety aside, harm reduction is the most important thing with alcohol addiction, because ideally you're coming off the addiction so you can live a fulfilled life. So let's preserve life through it. But how to come off alcohol addiction. So there's struggling with alcohol addiction. So first of all, what I would do is I would think about, okay, so with any addiction, it's important to understand why the addiction occurs in the first place. Not that we'll have to tackle it head on, because a lot of the time the reason why it occurs, especially with things, often when we've got heavy addictions, like hard addictions, like big ones, I would say like certainly hard drugs like crack cocaine and alcohol, usually there's some like quite severe root cause. So we don't need to go and heal that, but we need to understand why, because if we understand why the addiction occurs, we can let go of the shame, because shame really does keep us stuck. And give ourselves a bit of grace and be like, right, it's understandable that I've got this addiction because I'm self-medicating XYZ. So that's the first thing that I would say to do. Then I would say stabilize yourself is really important, especially with something like alcohol, where ideally we're going to reduce down safely with a professional. Start to stabilize yourself alongside that. So that's part of your recovery. Stabilizing yourself looks like learning to manage your nervous system, learning to like calm yourself when you're in fight or flight, because when you get cravings, you are going to be going into fight or flight. And the thing with alcohol addiction is it's a physical withdrawal, so it's going to be quite intense on the body. So if you learn how to breathe through that and stabilize yourself, it will make that much easier. And then second of all, I would start to build up a life that you're going to step into. So just because we're reducing down and we're not stopping straight away doesn't mean the recovery doesn't start today. Part of that is building up a life that's going to be really desirable, that you're going to be really excited about and love, that you're going to step into when the self-medication, aka addiction's removed. And you can work on that day in, day out. So work on getting back into hobbies and interests, building up connections with people that you've maybe let go because you've been focusing on connections which support the addiction. It looks like learning to have a really nice relationship with yourself, because you're going to have to back yourself in recovery, and you're going to be the person who's left standing at the end of recovery. You're going to come toe to toe with yourself. So start to build up a nice relationship with yourself through positive self-talk and just really self-care practices. Yeah, I know that was a lot of information, but I do think there's a lot of elements to addiction recovery. It's not just removing the thing. Violet's saying the psychiatrist prescribed weird medicines. Have I missed parts of what you said? I'm going to scroll up again and see. Addiction is a merry-go-round, new 5 beginnings saying it is, and we have to get off the merry-go-round. Like, if we have to get off the merry-go-round, and we need to just leave the fair altogether. It's not a fun fair anymore. It used to be a fun fair. Now we're just stuck on a merry-go-round and ghost rides. It's just shit. It's shit and outdated. We need to leave the fair altogether, and that means moving to a different life. Like, we need to change our whole life. We don't live in the fair anymore. We're going to live in somewhere different. Leave addiction city behind. And that means like building your life from the bottom up. Hi Deathhawk, how are you doing? I just saw your afternoon, Ashley. Right, where are we? Yeah, Chris is saying, Violet, go to the link in the bio and I'll reach out. Yeah, I will have a one-to-one with you, Violet. Joe is saying, is your full name Christine? No, it's Ashley. Ashley Bloxham. Ashley Alexander Bloxham. Because my mum gives him a surname as a middle name. So it's like spelled the boy's way. It's weird. Simon Leach, do you still get the feeling that you would love a session? I get them, and it's a hard day when the feeling happens. Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna lie to you, Simon. I really do. Sometimes I just think, my birthday's approaching, and I used to always get like I would have the best sessions on my birthday, like Christmas night and my birthday would be just the most best fun sessions ever. And I'm approaching it and I'm thinking, I'd love to do that. So yeah, I do sometimes have that, and I don't want to lie about it. But even my face is lighting up thinking about it, like, oh God, I'd love it. But you have to be real with yourself. Like, yes, it would be fun, and yes, it does feel shit when you think I would love that. But like, do you know what's more shit? Like, living the life of being addicted. It is scary, it's painful, it's you feel so much shame. You just genuinely don't feel like you're going to be able to get out. When you've relapsed, it's even worse, because then you've got to muster up the strength again. Yeah, and I just think, I've reminded myself of that. I just think, yeah, that would be fun for that day. It'd be fun for the day, and it would be fucking carnage and shit and painful and soul destroying for however long after, if inevitably to the end, because you just, it took a lot to get out of it. So yeah, Simon, I do get it. But what I will say, Simon, as well is, right, do you know what it is? When we leave something shit behind, we are always going to have a day where we're always going to sit there and think like, oh, that would be nice. Like for instance, say where somebody is in an abusive relationship, they're going to leave that behind. They're going to still reminisce on it. Maybe you had, I don't know, I'm trying to think of situations which were shit, but like, we don't stay in shit situations because there's no good, is what I mean. Like, we're going to have the good with the bad. And when we leave the shit situation, whatever it is, like whether it's toxic career, friendship, whatever, addiction, whatever it is, when we leave it, we're going to go hopefully to something where there's more good than bad. But you're still going to have a bit of bad. And the bad is sometimes the reminiscence. So like you've got to take it on the chin. But it would be more bad than good. So try and remind yourself of that. New beginning. I'm struggling working a job because I have Lyme disease and sterilization. I notice most of my energy is zapped by the afternoon. New beginning. I'm so sorry to hear that. I really wish I knew what to say to you. I really don't. I honestly don't. There's nothing, it's horrible feeling fatigued. I get that off bipolar, like when I'm having a low, like depression, I just feel drained and sapped of energy. And it's really, like it's bone level exhaustion, isn't it? I really don't know what to suggest to you. It's not my forte. Does anybody else know anything they can say? Girl, stick with the winners, as they say, but I don't want to be around people who don't take recovery seriously. My addiction is cocaine based and it's just physically brought me down, but I'm gonna go to bed, thank you. Or night, girl, if you've not already gone. Yeah, you do need to be around people who's taking it seriously. Also, I've sent you a message, thank you again, or I'll reply to it as soon as I get a chance. My food just got delivered, cheeseburger with hash browns. I'm starving myself, actually a little bit jealous guy. I hope that's nice. Hope you enjoy it. As if Arif is saying, get your money up. Money up? What do you mean get your money up? Dakota saying hot and cold sweats. Absolute nightmare, isn't it? Hot and cold sweats. Everyone remember to be supportive of one another. Use your words to build each other up and not tear down. Encouragement stops from the lips and becomes alive through the action. Yeah, and you know, like if we encourage people, we'll get a little oxytocin. So anytime we do something nice for someone, anytime we say nice words, encouraging words, do an act of kindness, we get oxytocin, which is a really good feel-good hormone, and it's the love hormone. And if you say negative things and horrible things, you get cortisol. So, and that's the stress hormone. So we actually reap what we sow. If like whatever you put out in the world, you literally get returned to you through your own little what do you call it? Your own endorphins. Simon saying, I saw your face light up. Yeah, it did. I was like, oh, session. Yeah, there's lots of things though. I mean, like it's like a toxic ex. Think of it like an abusive ex. You might think back and thought, oh, but we used to have like, I don't know, a really good love life, or that one time when they did that one nice thing. Yeah, but they used to also like beat you up. They used to tear us down. They used to make us feel like shit. Like, there might have been some good times to reminisce on, but let's leave it as good memories. Mixed in a whole lot of negative memories, and let's not delude ourselves by forgetting the bad memories. But yeah, every little face does light up. But as it stands, I'm not going to go and get wrecked on my birthday. I'm probably well, it's a Friday. I'm going to be going on getting on 5 buses to drop my son off, and that's probably going to be the top and bottom of what I'm doing, to be honest with you. No K-holes for me. Viva, and just remind yourself of all the good stuff you've got that you wouldn't have, Simon, if you had that session. That's another thing. Like, remind yourself of everything you would be giving up for that one good night. Is it worth it? I've been having so much alcohol in 1 year, lost my job, don't even remember what my hobbies are or what gets me excited. That's so normal. And the thing is, Viva, and please do go to my website. Oh, I missed your message. What message was it? Oh, the psychiatrist. Sorry, I read it out and then I got distracted. That was my ADHD in full swing. The psychiatrist prescribed weird medicines. Is that to help with your addiction that they've prescribed it? But Right, now I've just missed your other message, for God's sake. Right, on track, please, Ashley Luxem. Right, I've been having so much alcohol in 1 year. I've lost my job. Don't even remember what my hobbies are and what gets me excited. Yeah, that's so normal, because the thing is, like, what's happened is, in addiction, it basically fucks our dopamine receptors. It just fucks it down regulates the amount of dopamine we have, because we're flooding our brains with dopamine. Now, dopamine is the neurotransmitter which drives us in. It's like, makes us pursue things that matter to us, which are meaningful. So what happens is, what becomes meaningful is the alcohol. That's what now matters, and it drives us toward that. But also, alcohol makes you produce excessive amount of dopamine, so it down regulates the amount of dopamine we produce, which means things like hobbies, interests, connections with people, relationships, even like with our kids, our family members, the things that used to bring us joy just no longer bring us joy, because the amount of dopamine we get dopamine from stuff like that, we don't anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. This matters. This is the main goal. And also, the amount of dopamine you would get from that is down regulated to the point of virtually nothing. So every life outside of that actually getting pissed feels really grey, damp and shit. It's awful. So look, Simon, this is the thing. The session would feel good. Like, no doubt, that would be such a good session. Like, we would be having such a good time. But then we're putting ourselves at a huge, huge risk of relapse. And then what would happen is, eventually would get straight back to the point where the tolerance goes up, and we would feel nothing outside of the addiction, and the addiction itself barely brings a buzz. It's, you're just doing it because you have to. So yeah, that is really normal that you can't remember it. You can't remember what you like, and life feels flat. And this is the thing, it's the catch-22. You're gonna have to go through addiction recovery to get to the other side, to start enjoying life again. But what that means is, you're gonna have to feel even worse, even more flat, to get to the point where you enjoy things. But I would start to, like, get these things back in your life. So you've got, like, almost like creating a life ready to move in now. So think of it like you bought a house, and you're going and buying the furniture so you're furnishing it ready for when you move in. It's all done and dusted. So that's thinking about, okay, what did I used to like? I know you're saying you can't remember. Take some time to remember. That's part of your recovery. Start reconnecting with people, even if it's just that one time, just to lay the foundations of what your life's going to be look like. Make a list of, like, a bucket list. Do a goal list, like, what if I woke up tomorrow, I've waved a magic wand and I'm sober, I've got through the hell of it and I'm feeling great, and I'm living a life that feels really fulfilling, so good, so that I would dream of going back to having a drink of alcohol. What does that life look like? What am I doing in that life? What goals have I achieved? What things bring us joy? How do I talk to myself? Like, what physical things do I do day to day? And write this all down, and then that's your North Star that you can start working towards. New electrolytes are very important, and sleep is too. Yeah, electrolytes are really good. Who are you saying this to? New. Where's New? Who was saying electrolytes are good? Well, electrolytes are good in general. I take them all the time. I've got something called, I don't promote for them, but I don't drink enough water. I'm like a little cactus. I don't know how I've survived 37 years just not drinking. But I have something called Space Goods, and it's like a electrolyte that you put in your drink, but it's like a daily one. I find that's really been helpful. It's made my skin look more youthful and stuff. So I think if it's shown on the outside, it's obviously doing good on the inside. Let's see what else people are saying. Happy Ramadan, sister. Are you fasting? I actually am fasting now, only because I haven't had a chance to eat. And I don't like eating too late, so my fasting has already started, but it's not for Ramadan. But happy Ramadan to you. Did you see the Newcastle game earlier on? What a result. No, I didn't watch it. I phoned my dad and he was like, yeah, I don't want to speak to you. I'm watching the game. So I know they were playing, but I wasn't watching. Guy was saying, I gave up weed 2+ years ago. I do miss it, but I take my puppy out for a 3-hour walk every morning, and now I have a drink in the afternoon before I go to bed. Yeah, it's about like stopping and doing something. Like, would you have that 3-hour walk with your puppy if you were just waking and baking, Guy? Billy, but yeah, we do miss it. I mean, look, I know some people who don't. Like my best friend, she was a heroin addict, and she says the thought of it makes her feel sick. She doesn't miss it. But she's got her own little buzzes. I don't know if it's because I'm teetotal. I don't have anything to buzz off. Like, there's zero buzz in my life. I have to get high on life, so I don't know if that's part of it. But maybe some people just don't think of it and don't want it, and some people do. I'm in the do crew. Billy Megan got onto the website earlier, going to get booked in tomorrow, being flat out playing paddle. Love that for you, Billy. I've never played paddle. It's up and coming, isn't it? A lot of people seem to be playing that at the moment. Have I replied yet, Billy? If not, I will do. Jan is saying beautiful eyes, girls. Ciao from Italy. Ciao. Deathhawk. Oh God, my brain's not working. You're gonna have to bear with his. Let's have a little look. I'm just watching you with 2 Italian people chatting on to each other. I'm glad people are just talking to each other. That's nice. I like the idea of this being a little community, not just me ranting on everyone. So I mean, mods do a great job of that as well. But I notice other people chat to each other, which I love. And Rob saying, I used to love drugs in my 20s. Glad I grew out of it. Yeah, there was a point where I remember thinking in my 20s, like, I'm never going to stop doing this. Like, this is too good. But I think I just got forced. Life forced us out of that lifestyle. Are you a Geordie? Yeah. Well, technically not. I was born in Sheffield, but I definitely identify as a Geordie. I've grew up here. Right, let's see what else. Loads of people are chatting to each other. I'm trying to see if anyone's asking any questions. I love music. I need to quit cannabis, but I'm highly dependent. Do you think I should quit cold turkey or wean off? That's up to you. I love music, 98. One thing that I would do, if that was me, is I would try and get rid of the tobacco out of it first if you are going to wean off. That's if you're going to go down the wean off route. So I'd try and get the tobacco out, or because then you're just dealing with the weed, which isn't chemically addictive, whereas tobacco is. That's if you are smoking it with tobacco. Try and do it in like a little pipe or something first, and just slowly wean your way off. Slowly but surely. The thing with weaning yourself off is, the problem with that is it can be a lack of accountability. So I would say, have people who are going to hold you accountable know about your end date, because tomorrow in addiction does have a tendency to not come. Like, tomorrow never comes. That is so true in addiction. So it's about how you're going to support yourself to make sure that you actually are weaning yourself off. But if you are going to go down the route, I'd say wean the tobacco out first, and then get down to as least as wean down to virtually nothing. And also try and push it off and replace it with something that you're going to eventually replace the addiction with. So maybe a hobby. So you do like start up a hobby or an interest, just something to occupy your brain, and do that when you would have your first joint. I'm assuming you smoke joints. So yeah. If you're going to go cold turkey though, I would try and get yourself as prepared for cold turkey as possible. It's going to be really hard. So somebody has already spoke about electrolytes. I think that was Death Hawk. Electrolytes and sleep. So you can get like over the counter. I think they are allergy tablets, which help you sleep. I can't remember. But you can get something to aid your sleep would be helpful. I think you can get like night nurse and stuff like that over the counter. Electrolytes, really good idea. Get yourself some electrolytes. Again, you can buy them at the pharmacy, just little tablets that you put in your water. Food, so meal preps would be really good. If you don't, or even if you just did it for a week, like you can get deals on meal preps where it's like nutritional food delivered to your door. You just bang it in the microwave. I literally live off them. I have Plenty, which is vegetarian, but there's loads of other ones. Or get a few batch cooks done, just something, or like comfort food, nice food. Just get yourself like loads of things ready for your stop date, so that you can and try, if you can't get time off work, if you're working, if you've got kids. So I had an end date and I asked my dad to have my son for 5 days so I could get through the hump of it, because those first 3 days are going to be a kicker. So yeah, it's up to you though. People do it differently. It is up to you. Personally, what I did was wean off, and that can be easier on like if you go cold turkey, you're more likely to just stop it and just stick to it. But it's going to be a much bigger impact that you're going to have to deal with. If you're weaning off, there's a higher, it's going to be less of an impact when you remove it, but you've got to keep motivated to actually remove it when your end date comes. So I'd say accountability is key for that. Time for you to go and take care of the chickens in your garden. Oh, I love that you've got chickens, Chris. I'm getting chickens soon. Well, I hope you have a lovely time. I'm gonna go as well. I'm really tired, and yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna so Guy, I'll just read a couple of things. Guy is saying, if you're smoking weed, just stop, give it a week and you'll be okay. Don't wean off it, just stop. I've done it myself after smoking off 25 years. There you go. There's somebody who stopped smoking weed. Yeah, I did wean off, but it was, I had specific things that meant that my end date is like non-negotiable. So like there was quite a few different things which meant I had to stop then. And also I told everyone that I had an addiction. My addiction was slightly different. So that's what Guy says. It's up to you ultimately. What was my addiction? If you don't mind us asking, ketamine was the worst one by far. But I've just quit vaping. That was pretty hard, to be honest. So Liz, Smokey, hello beautiful, how are you doing? I'm doing good. How are you doing, Smokey? I'm just about to leave. AC saying, get off the THC and use CBD, no mental high, body high, only been using medical for 15 years. Yeah, maybe switch it up if you're going to, and then get off that. Maybe CBD oil, I don't know about that personally though. I think, look, one thing I will say is, if you're trying to have a date and stuff like that, like all you're doing is putting off the inevitable. Like realistically, you are just putting off the inevitable. And like alcohol and benzocaines absolutely do wean off. That is like, do it with a professional, because that is dangerous to just stop and go cold turkey. But you are just delaying the inevitable, and we're delaying it because we don't want to stop. And the thing is, like, I kept delaying my quitting vaping. I made the deal with us that I was going to stop when I was 36. I literally stopped this month. It's February. Or was it end of... It was either end of January. I think it was end of January, start of February. I turned 37 in March. And I said, oh, I'm going to do it this time and this time. And there's loads of excuses. And then eventually I was like, I'm going to do it with my addiction group. And then people didn't turn up to my addiction group. Like, no one turned up. And then their little voice was like, oh, well, I might as well do it like later on. I'll do it in a couple of weeks. I'll try and set up another addiction group. And I just sent I heard it. I was like, this is just my addiction, like trying to get us to put it off because it doesn't want to stop. And I'm just going to keep putting it off and putting it off. Just fucking stop now. You said you're going to stop in the addiction group. No fuckers turned up. Do it by yourself. Like, at least one person is going to quit on this addiction group. Just be that person. And the thing is, like, I do think Guy has a point of, like, just stop. Like, just stop. You're going to have to go through the pain. You're putting off the inevitable. Just stop and just make yourself as comfortable as possible and big yourself up and praise yourself and just stop. I think that is because I did wean off, but you still have to put up with the same fucking shit. Like, you're just delaying the inevitable, realistically. So when you've got peak motivation, just think, fuck it, I'm doing it, I'm gonna do it now. Yeah. What's other people's opinions? I did say I was gonna go, but what's other people's opinions on that? Look, recovery is different for everyone, but yeah, fuck it, just stop. Just stop, don't wean off it, just get off. Yeah, we should do a poll on this. I don't know how you do a poll though. What's everybody else thinking? Michael's saying, I remember being told we can become addicted to anything, even meditation. There are some good addictions as well. Yeah, I've got to say so I've quit vaping and I have lent massively into jiu-jitsu. So I already loved it, but I've just lent massively into it. And every time I'm having a craving, I'm just like being firm but fair with myself and saying, no, we're not doing it. You're doing great, but no. And I literally just do something to do with jiu-jitsu. So the same time I stopped, I ordered myself a jiu-jitsu doll, like a big, you like fill it with clothes. And I've just been practicing on that, like drilling, shadow drilling, stance, different things. So yeah, just get a good addiction to keep your mind occupied. Deathhawk saying, what's happening with the addiction group? I was the only person who turned up and it was 100% successful. There was 100% success rate with it, Deathhawk. But nobody turned up. Smokey's saying I'm on nicotine patches just now. Oh, that's a good point. I've never ever thought of this. Why have I not thought of this before? Who was saying about stopping weed, and I said get rid of nicotine, just use fucking nicotine patches or have a nicotine vape, you know, them little nicotine things, or one of those lozenges and stuff, when you go to have a joint, because you'll be withdrawing from nicotine as well. Because your brain will be, your brain prepares, so if you have a joint at a certain point, your brain will also associate that's a time when you have nicotine, so you can have a nicotine lozenge, so you're not dealing with that as well as getting rid of the vape. Why have I never thought of that in all the years I've been doing this? Oh well, we thought of it now. Smokey saying, can I come to your group? And I'm not doing the group because loads of people wanted to do it and nobody turned up. So but yeah, you can have a one-to-one if you need a one-to-one, but I just thought there's no point if people aren't turning up. Like I say, I was the only person who turned up. I was so nervous as well. I don't get nervous for stuff, and I was really nervous about it. Because I've done addiction groups before, but it was my own little program that I'd spent ages developing. Well, years actually. But yeah, people didn't turn up. So I just thought not meant to be, and I'm not wanting to push something when it doesn't feel like it's meant to be. Smokey said, I quit weed, no problem. What did you do to help you? I think as well, getting yourself to the point where you're ready. There's somebody who, oh, Smokey, you might be that person. No. Smokey, are you Blue Music? I know they've changed the name. If not, there's somebody else who I know who's quit weed and they were putting off and eventually they did it and they're like, that's it. I just literally don't have cravings, not interested in it, don't want to go back to it. BIG, one thing I've done since stopping drinking or drugs, I go through phases of buying different things. Recently, I've been obsessed with buying gold. I feel like I've replaced one addiction with another. Yeah, I'm the same. Do you have ADHD as well? and that might be part of it. But yeah, I'm the same. I need to find, so it's like, I think of it like I need some kind of stimulation for my brain, and just accepting that is key, and then making sure that it's like a positive stimulation that's going to be adding to my life, not taken away. Guy, I'll join you in your group sessions, help you. I'd be happy to. Like I say, nobody turned up, so I'm just not bothering doing it. People weren't, just didn't turn up, so it's one of them. I just thought, the thing is, I am giving up my time for free, so I thought, if people aren't going to turn up, I'm not going to like go banging on the door saying like, turn up so I can give up my Sunday afternoon, will you? So it's all right. But if people want one-to-ones, I'm doing one-to-ones because they have been beneficial to people. Smokey's saying, I had lost my driving licence due to it, so that was my motivation. I need my driving licence for work. Yeah, sometimes we just need a really good hook for it. I've never been diagnosed, as I don't really open up about it to anyone, BIG. If you want, I can send you a link. If you go to my website, there's a link where basically you can answer some questions and it'll say if you likely have it. So it's not a diagnostic tool, but it can give you an indication if you might do. Because I'm not saying you do have ADHD, I can't diagnose, but just as somebody who has a really good understanding of it and who has it myself, sometimes when we need something like, we'll have little mini addictions, it can be hyper focus, and it can be like needing hits of dopamine, because there's a big interplay between dopamine and ADHD. Where would you find this link? Just go to my website, schoolofaddiction.co.uk. It's on my YouTube page, or just comment on any of my content and I'll send you the link. I can't remember the name of the website off the top of my head, but I've got it saved in my phone. But anyways, I'm gonna go now, guys. So it's been lush speaking to you. If anyone if you could give us a subscribe, that's a really simple way to help me channel, and help us support people for free who need it. So that's really helpful. Yeah, thanks to everybody who just give us a like. I just saw them floating up, and I'll be back again on Friday morning at 10 a.m. Thanks to all my mods, you've been great as usual, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Oh, I can't, for some reason, this happened before. YouTube will not let us end.